Recently, Elliot Pimentel DM'd me on Discord asking for Pyraminx tips to be sub 4, and I gave him some general advice, but then I don't feel like that's very helpful, so I told him to send me some solves and I'd critique them. So that's what this is. Okay, on this first scramble, Elliot gets a 227. This is, you can see this is a pretty good scramble because we have this big block. The solution that Elliot does is he does the tips at the start, which is good. And then he does a hedge here. He rotates, sledge. So the problem with that solution is it has a rotation in it. And when you have rotations at your level aren't necessarily the worst thing ever, but when you have an easy scramble like this with better solutions, you should check those. So the first thing you could have noticed is on blue, you could do tips at the start like this, and then move this piece in to connect this bar and finish the 2-move V, and then you have a decent L4E with no AUF. But a better solution than that, and the one I did on this scramble, is from the same angle that he started. You can notice that if you insert this piece into the back like this, it's going to create this bar, and since this blue sticker is going to stay where it's at, we're just going to have a hedge. So that's a very nice 9-move body that saves a rotation and is pretty finger tricky. Okay, this is the second scramble. This was a 4 flat. Elliot is going to do let me find the angle. Yeah, Elliot's going to do a yellow V with this block. He solves these 2 tips first, and then goes like this, and then he inserts this piece into the back like that, and gets a 4 flip, and does the tip at the end. So I do believe you missed a 3-move V here, which I think 3 moves is the cutoff for, at your speed, Vs you probably shouldn't miss. And it gives about as good of an L4E case as the 6-move V you did. So you can start with tips like this, and then B prime to solve this center, and then L moves this red bar down and creates this red bar, like that, R prime, and then you get this hedge case. Okay, this is the third scramble. On this, Elliot got a 505. The scramble doesn't look that good. What Elliot did on it is he did tips at the start, and then he's going for a blue V. He went like this, and then he rotated up and solved that edge with the red. Then he rotated again, solved the green-blue edge, and then rotated again for L4E. So first we're going to look at ways you can improve your exact solution. So, like the best thing you could have, if you wanted to do that exact solution, the best thing you could have done is just done it with no rotations, which is possible without doing any B moves. So you could just solve the V on bottom by doing an R like this, and then inserting into the back, inserting here, and it gives the same L4E case because it's the same solution. So that saves 3 rotations doing the same solution, which is something you should be thinking about. But there is a 4-move V that on green that gives the same case. So there's 2 ways to do it. I'm going to show the way I would do it for those that know ML4E, and then the other way you can finger trick it if you don't know ML4E, which Elliot has no reason to know. It's not important yet. So I would do tips, and then you can insert this piece up here. And if you do that with RU R prime, that's going to solve this piece down here. So RU R prime, then you can just go L and finish off with a nice ML4E. But if you don't know ML4E, the solution's basically equally as nice. The tips are a little better. You can solve them at the start like this. You can do and then you can do that V executed L, U, L prime, and then a B with the back of your index finger like that. So that's pretty nice. And then you just regrip down, and then you have hedge you hedge. Okay, this is the fourth scramble, Elliot's 394. The scramble is not great, but it does have this block. So he does these two tips at the start, and then he's gonna just do the basic thing, move this center out of the way, put this in, put it back to make almost a V, and then he rotates up, inserts the red yellow edge, and then what he could have done here, just continuing off his solution, although he does do that tip right there, what he could have done here is just inserted into the back like that, but instead I think he rotates, does a U to recognize it, does a U again, and inserts it. So I'm gonna show three solutions on this. The first one is the worst, but it's pretty spammy. You can do a blue V. You can go like, whenever you see this pattern where the two are swapped, I usually try to look for something better because doing this isn't the best, but in this case it works out. You can do R and then L prime UL to insert this into the bottom, U, R prime, and then you just get sledge or hedge, but that's not great because it does have a rotation. It's not horrible, but it's not the best. The other thing you can do, the first thing I saw in this scramble was on red. This is probably also not that great because it's a little awkward, but you can do L prime, R prime to make this block, and then just finish the V like that, and then you get a kind of bad L4E. But I think the best solution is actually just the one Elliot did, but executed way differently. So if you do like this R, B prime, R prime trigger is really useful for solving cases like this because it's pretty fast, and once you get to this point, it's a really easy one-look pattern. So if you do R, B prime, R prime, and then insert this, you're going to get an insert just like Elliot got. You can notice that this yellow sticker is going to come down here. This piece will end up solved, and this edge will end up here. So you're just going to have like that same insert you did. So you can go like this, and then U prime insert is what I would do. Okay, this is the last scramble. Elliot gets a 401. This is probably the second best scramble. Elliot's going to go for the 2-move yellow V, so good job for not missing the 2-move V. So he does these 3 tips at the start. He does U, R prime to solve the V. He rotates up, and then he gets this nice case with the tip at the end. So I would do the same solution, but there are 2 better ways you can execute it. The first way, I don't expect you to check because you don't need to know ML4 yet, but I want to show it anyway. You can just do tips, and then this avoids B moves. You can do L, R prime, U prime into a very good ML4. Or I'll also show the way that I think you should be doing without knowing ML4. So you can do tips, and then you can just solve this. The same, like, this, like, reverse of your index B prime finger trick's really, like, useful to know. So you just R, B prime, and then ML4 the same way you did it. Or not ML4, L4. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to end on some strengths and weaknesses. I think your biggest strength is your L4E. A common mistake I seem to notice with people around your speed is that, and this is low sample size, but like, so I don't really know that you're good at this, but it seems like you are. A lot of people, like, I'll just give an example that you had. Like on the last solve, a lot of people that are doing intuitive L4E don't recognize this as a case. They'll just, you know, match this up and then pause for the insert. You did it all in one fluid motion, which is good to see. Keep that up. Your L4Es are definitely helping you because it seems like you know what you're doing with them. But I think the biggest thing for you is going to be your Vs. You seem to kind of just take what's given to you and not try to make things happen. And when you can't block build a whole V, you're just inserting pieces, which works sometimes, but generally you want to block build a full V. Each one of these solves that could be done fairly easily, so you can use things like the Human Optimal Solutions Finder and the csTimer V Solver are both really good resources to help you find more interesting Vs, more efficient Vs. And then the other thing is just the rotations. Try to keep it to 1 rotation per solve. It's fine if, you know, you should be solving your V on the bottom. That's the other thing. So if you solve your V on the bottom, it's fine to rotate to get where you need to be at your speed. I think that's fine, but try to avoid rotating up as much as you can unless you have something like a sledge V. And then I would say solve all the tips at the start. That's just a good habit to be in. You did that sometimes, so just do it always, and it'll help a little bit. If Elliot or anybody else has any questions about these solves, let me know in the comments. But that is it for this. Goodbye.